this morning. And before I start the Q&A, I would like to let you know that this, as in this coming Monday, is the last opportunity to join Lorna's online squad before our doors close for summer. So the 6-week reboot is closing this Monday. This is your last chance to jump on. So if you're wanting to go into the summer feeling like you're in a better routine, feeling like you want to go into September like you're not falling behind, like you're on it, like you are on it. You're feeling energized, you're feeling fitter, you're feeling stronger, you're feeling healthier, you're feeling happier, then come and join us. And also, if you're feeling like you need that support and that motivation as well, because we are very, very good at that. And I really do think it's important, because we can all now, you can type into AI like, oh yeah, can you just give me a workout plan? Like, it's all very well doing that, but as humans, we need that connection. We need somebody to turn to when we're having a hard week. We need someone to turn to when we're not sure on something and we want an actual real answer, and to understand, people who have been through it before, to get support and help from them. What did they do? What actually worked? And just to be part of a community where we're all working together towards bettering ourselves. It's women supporting women. So if that sounds a little bit you, this is the last chance. Just comment reboot and I will send you the details and basically tell you how it all works, and we can discuss actually if it is the right thing for you or not. Okay, so the Q&A. Now, this is something I normally do privately in the squad group. So if this is something that you enjoy as well, this is every week. You can ask me questions and we can go into a deep dive. We keep it anonymous, but we go into a deep dive, and the more questions, the better. And I just really think that if someone else has asked the question, somebody else is already thinking about it anyway. So no question is ever a silly question. Anyway, I was actually, before we start, something's been on my mind recently, and it really is, okay, well, what makes us different? Like, what is it about Lorna Marie Fitness that makes us different from, say, like a fitness app or whatever? And I really, truly do think it's our community. I really do. I think it's incredible that you can get that support whenever you need it. So I'm always there. You can always send me a message. I check in with every single squaddie every single month. There's always opportunities to ask questions, to delve into something if you want to go into it a little bit further. And also, you've got the backing of this just the most friendly and welcoming community and inspiring community outside of fitness. They're just incredible. I can't tell you. I really can't tell you. The support is like no other, like I've never seen before, but just in a really, really friendly way where we all want to lift each other up. And I think that's sadly sometimes a little bit rare, that you're part of a community that just wants you to do well, and we all want to go together. Like a rising tide lifts all ships. And just to mention a couple of wins recently, and they won't mind me sharing because they've shared it elsewhere. But Sonia, she has just done the Banff half marathon, which is insane. It's incredible. She's done so well, and she would describe herself, or used to describe herself, as absolutely not a runner. And we've been working together. She's been doing the Run Fit series. We've been talking about nutrition to support her running, and we've also been chatting in her check-ins as well about the things to be focusing on in order to support her running. And she's done it. She just did it. She did it this weekend. So I'm so proud of her. And also, we have another squaddie who's been using an inhaler for her asthma, and actually she's reduced it to a point where even when her allergies were extremely bad, she hardly needed to use it at all. I think she said she had 2 puffs in, I think it was like 2 weeks or something crazy. Anyway, I'm just in awe of these incredible ladies who are just really working to improve their health, improve their fitness, and improve their well-being. And yeah, I just think that's what, and obviously everyone was like, yeah, go, that's amazing, that's so good. So I just wanted to share it. Anyway, on to the Q&A. Here are the questions for this week. So, question number 1. Should I be taking electrolytes on a daily basis? Okay, so I feel like electrolytes, in the fitness industry, they've become the new buzz. You know how it was like protein powders and then it was collagen, and now everyone's talking about electrolytes. So let's talk about what electrolytes actually are and whether you then need to take them. So electrolytes are very important, and they are important in our body. And the main ones are minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium. They're the main ones. And electrolytes here are the drinks, or we can put the tablets into our water and then they dissolve and they provide these electrolytes. Now, they are important. For example, sodium is really important for our nerve function, and they are needed in the body, but we tend to get enough from our food. When we're dehydrated, so say it's been a very hot and sweaty day, or we've done some endurance sport, or we've been very, very ill, so we're very dehydrated, then it can be beneficial to take them. Whether we need to take them on a daily basis, no, most likely not. Unless you are, say, like an athlete, or you've been sweating a lot recently, you don't need to take them on a daily basis because we tend to get enough from our food. Now, we do have to be careful as well, because they are minerals that are, yes, they are important for our bodily functions. They are really, really important, but we can have too many as well. We can have too much, rather. And if we do, just as a couple of examples, if we have too much sodium, it can put a lot of pressure on our kidneys, because it's got to clear the excess all the time. If we have too much potassium, it can cause things like heart palpitations. So we do have to be extremely careful. Now, some electrolyte drinks contain about 1/3 of the recommended amount of sodium that you need in a day. So that's just to kind of put it into context a little bit. So do you need to take them on a daily basis? No. Would taking them on the odd occasion harm? No. Not at all either. But I think where we need to be careful is using them as like a flavored drink. So say if we're using them like we would pour ourselves a squash, for example, that's where we do need to be a little bit careful. But so generally speaking, maybe not massively harmful, but I wouldn't be taking them on a daily basis unless you really needed to, unless you were really dehydrated. Is it more effective to do a 6-6-6, lower body, upper body, core every day, or does it make more sense to focus on one body part at a time? So for example, 20 minutes upper body one day, 20 minutes lower body the other day, and then core. If your goal is to improve your strength in your upper body, improve your strength in your lower body, improve your strength in your core, then I would be doing the 20 minutes per day, focusing on each body part. Firstly, 6 minutes isn't enough volume in order to create much of a difference in order to improve your strength. So to improve our strength, we need to be challenging the muscles. We need to be challenging the muscles, and we need to be putting them under load. We need to be working the volume. 6 minutes isn't going to allow us enough time to do that. So I would be doing the 20 minutes at a time. And also, I would be thinking that area probably needs a bit of recovery. So, I mean, 6 minutes probably wouldn't really make much difference in reality. But if we're really, be nitty gritty with it, I would say, and the way that I lay out the timetable is, we work an area on our body, we give it rest in order to recover so that you get results from your workouts. Now, the 6-6-6, there aren't doing a 6-6-6 either, and actually they're really, really fun, so therefore can be really good for consistency as well. But I would probably put that at like the end of the week, when I've worked my upper body, I've worked my lower body, I've worked my core, and then I'm just doing like a little bit of everything. And I just think it's a fun workout, and there's still so much benefit from doing it. But if the goal is to improve your strength in those areas, then I would just, stick with the 20 minutes per body part. But all you need to do is just follow the timetable, and I've got it all planned for you. So just trust what I put in the timetable, follow that, and you're all good. So either plan A, which is the first classes, you get the perfect split. Plan B, second class, again, you get the perfect split. Or plan C, which is doing the double each day. And I will just make sure that you've got all bases covered, so you don't even have to think about it. Question number 3. If my 2 classes of choice are a stretch class and a Pilates, which order should I do them in for maximum benefit to my body? If I were to choose, I would personally go Pilates first, stretch after. Because Pilates is all about core and stability. It's all about core stability and also your posture, your alignment, your breath. There's so much with Pilates, but anyway, a core and stability and holding moves in certain positions. Now, if you did a stretch class first and you completely relax your entire body and all of the muscles, we might feel a little bit too loosey-goosey, in my opinion. We might be a little bit too loosey-goosey to really feel the stability and the strength of the moves. Whereas I feel like doing a stretch class after Pilates will help release the body, and it will feel nice as well. But having said that, some people do find that actually doing a stretch class before helps them with some of their Pilates moves, so there is nothing wrong with doing it that way either. Just if I had the choice, because of the things that we're trying to achieve in Pilates, I would do the stretch class afterwards. Final question. I had a slip disc a couple of years ago, which still flares up. I know exercise and building my core is the answer, but I find it tricky to balance it without overdoing it. How would you recommend someone with back problems paces out and plans their classes so it's a mixture of gradually building more strength and flexibility? How many classes on strength/Pilates would you suggest? Okay, so firstly, I would say this is so dependent on the individual. This really depends on you, and of course, I'd make sure that you've been working with a medical professional before all of this as well. Now, I would say if you're in a workout and you feel something that does not feel right, just stop immediately. Stop immediately, go back to the previous move, change the workout, or just come back to it later. If something doesn't feel right after the workout, or maybe even the day after that, give it 2 days rest. 2 days rest, maybe just doing some light walking for a couple of days. Let that area rest. And then if it feels better after, then resume. So I'd just say, err on the side of caution here. Build it up very gradually. And when you become consistent with our workouts and you get into a really good routine, that strength, it's going to come. It's going to come probably without you even realizing. But I would say the number one class I would go for is deep core rebuild. I would have that in my week no matter what. All the deep core rebuild series, there's 3 episodes. You stay on episode 1 until you feel fully confident in your technique and strength to move on to episode 2, and so on and so forth. So you might even stay on episode 1 doing it twice a week for 3 weeks until you're ready to move on to number 2, or maybe even longer. Take however long you need, but I would be doing it at least a couple of times a week to feel the benefit. It's only 15-ish minutes, that's all it is. So I would definitely do deep core rebuild to start off with, and 1 Pilates every week as like a non-negotiable. And then as you go through the deep core rebuild series, you could maybe switch that out to a Pilates. So you could do minimum a couple of Pilates a week, just as an example. But for now, to build strength back up with us, I would, in back and deep core, which is so important to support your back, that's what I would do. And then I'd have, a session where I release. So that might be a yoga twist. So if you type twist in, or if you just type back into on demand, or there's a lot of release work that happens in a Pilates class anyway, or a yoga class. So you can just make sure that that is somewhere in your week. Then other areas that I would be working to strengthen would be lower body and also back of the body. But all you need to do really is follow the timetable. So if we use Plan B, which is the second class on the timetable, as an example, just for this week, we use it as an example, and I will tell you what I would personally do to chop and change it. So say you're going to do the 5 sessions, so 20 minutes. And it also depends on what's realistic for you. You might not have time for this, therefore you need to prioritize. But if you can dedicate 20 minutes 5 times a week, then have a little listen to this, because this is what I would do. So Plan B, stronger. That's all around body strength. Yeah, I'll be doing that. Sculpt, that is a cardio workout. If you can, maybe do that and add in the deep core rebuild afterwards. If you don't have time for that, I would probably do the deep core rebuild here. Or potentially, no, we've got Pilates later actually. So I'd probably do deep core rebuild there, or do the sculpt and then do deep core rebuild, or do the deep core rebuild and then get on the bolt-on area and do a quick 5-10 minutes of something else. Lower body strength, would I keep that? Yep. The fourth class is upper body strength. Would I do that? Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of back work in there as well. So I would be doing that. And then the last class of the week is a Pilates. Boom. So there we have it. I'd follow that. Probably switch the sculpt out, put a deep core rebuild, unless I can tie them both together. And then at some point, I'd be tempted to put another deep core rebuild in there. Probably not the same day as Pilates. Even if that means that, you know, you finish one of the workouts a little bit earlier, or you just do it like when you're watching TV at night or something, or just at any point when you're making dinner, put a dinner on quickly, put me on your phone, whip a mat out, lie down on the carpet and just go. That's what I would do for that one. So I hope that helps. I hope that really, really helps. And as I mentioned at the start of this live, if you are wanting to join us, this is your last chance before the doors close for summer. And one thing I can promise you is we only regret the things that we don't do. I know it sounds cheesy, but you just have to take the leap of faith and just trust me on this one. You will not regret it, but you might regret not doing it. And September's a really long time to wait. So do get in touch, comment reboot here, or you can just message me reboot, then I'll just send you the details. Anyway, team, have a wonderful Tuesday. Have a great day. Oh, Juliet, thanks, Lorna. Oh, as ever, great advice, certainly answered my question. You are welcome. You can always rely on me to give you the proper answer, the proper answer. But basically, the no fluff answer, like what you actually need to know. I've done all the thinking. I've done all the research around it. I know so much about health, fitness, nutrition. I've been in the industry now for 12 years. I know so much about it. I will just be able to give you a straight answer of exactly what you need to focus on, team. Anyway, have a lovely day and I will see you in class, squaddies. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have yoga full body release. Oh, yes. And lower body strength. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to those. And Thursday, I'm looking forward to Carolyn's choice. Kettlebells country. Love me a bit of country music. Anyway, see you later, everyone. Have a lovely day.